Yo, what's up gamers, it's AbbyElise here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing some important tips that could be useful for people starting out on editing and or content creation that could improve your video's quality and how enjoyable it is to watch. As I mentioned, these are pretty beginner tips, so if you've been editing for quite some time and or making content, these might not be too useful for you, but you can still keep listening because you might be able to learn something, especially in the latter half of the video where I discuss some tricks to make your editing way more efficient, but those are mostly applied to Vegas Pro. So if you don't use this software for editing, the tricks might not help, but if your editing software has similar features to Vegas, that could potentially still help. Okay, first things first, this is a Vegas Pro project of an Intel edit stream highlights that I edited. I'll put the video in the iCard, so if you haven't seen it, you can check it out. But I want to run over the thought process of editing a kind of stream highlights videos, so I could also apply the process to how I cut down other videos. Because no matter how cool and flashy your editing looks, one of the most important things to note is how you cut your videos and pace everything, because if you leave a lot of pretty slow parts in a video, that would incline people to click off and just lose interest. So all of these clips that I'm showing, some of them are from one whole stream and some of them are individual clips that have been clipped by stream viewers. For example, this starting clip is a Twitch clip that I downloaded, but anything that has like this name, the 2021, yeah, this this is like from the main stream that I was tasked to edit. So what I usually look for in a stream to highlight is anything that, you know, piques interest. You know, that could be pretty obvious, but sometimes people don't really realize that you actually have to properly cut a video for it to be entertaining. What I usually do is I always find very engaging moments, and the engaging moments could very well depend on what you're known for in content or what you want to be known for. So for Intel, he's pretty good at PvP, and so I would like to highlight every time he has a cool clip of like comboing or just doing something clean, or other things that I highlight are just like funny things that happen, maybe Intel raging, stuff like that, because that basically summarizes how his streams are and represent it pretty well. So like for example, he's chasing this person. I'm just gonna play it. So he's chasing this person and he gets knocked off and then he starts shouting.
No way! Dude, this guy's literally an Olympic lap runner.
So yeah, you kind of get the idea of how I pick these out, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, this one's like a cool clip. So this is like a clip of him surviving with little health and getting both of these finals.
Nice, nice, nice!
This is like the exact same game as this. So it went from him falling in the void, and I just decided, oh, okay, I'll just skip to where he gets a cool double final kill. So yeah, you just have to find interesting portions. For example, in a stream highlights, even though Intel might be talking about something interesting, but like nothing much is happening in gameplay, I wouldn't include that. Obviously, things are different for like commentary and other things, but if you're trying to highlight stuff, you should definitely pick the most engaging things. Okay, now I have another video open. It's ItzGlimpse versus Not Nico rematch. Because these videos are, you know, obviously different than a stream highlights. For this kind of video, since it's a 1v1, you would want it to be pretty action-packed and fast-paced. So what I realized is better for these kinds of videos is when you start a game, like, the first thing that you include is probably just straight into the action. No more like standing in the gen shenanigans. Like the only reason why I would include these portions is like when the two people are like saying something to each other that could be pretty engaging with the audience still. Like for example, if you just play this through.
What's your strategy for this one, Nico? Because honestly, it doesn't seem like it's working.
Kill you and absolutely demolish you.
Actually, I can't really say anything. I'm losing 2-1, never mind.
Yeah, so the way I cut this, as you can see, it like jumps pretty quick. So it goes from standing in the gen and then Nico responding, and then immediately building the bridge. So I expanded this clip. In reality, it was like almost 20 whole seconds. And if you listen to it back,
What's your strategy for this one, Nico? Because honestly, it doesn't seem like it's working.
Nico doesn't respond right away.
What?
He just says
What's your
what, and then Glimpse repeats himself. So I just went straight here.
Kill you and absolutely demolish you.
There you go. And then cut again all the way here
Actually, I can't really say anything. I'm losing 2-1. Never mind.
to Glimpse's response. You really don't want to include repeating yourself and the dead space here, like the silence. You really shouldn't. Like, the only time where silence is acceptable is when you're building up suspense. That's another important thing about editing videos. It's the kind of mood that you want to portray. If you're trying to make it action heavy, then you always have to aim for fights or like interesting dialogue and stuff like that. But like if it's like more, I guess, suspenseful, silence is pretty okay. Like, example, a lot of the times in the bridge, like there's just a lot of silence, you know? The thing that helps the silence like be acceptable is obviously the music. So that's another thing. The music's really important to set the vibe of the video. Like for 1v1 videos, you could see that like they're always pretty, I guess, action based or funky or suspenseful music.
Dude, I didn't expect you to like be there, so I just...
So yeah, that's another thing that you should keep in mind of. In Glimpse's other videos that aren't 1v1s, I tend to use Nintendo music. Glimpse's other editor also does that. Like, example, in the Glimpse and Aesthetic video, there's a lot of Nintendo music used there. You can basically check out, I think TommyInnit made a playlist. It's called like Best Music Ever or something. A lot of those songs in the playlist are pretty good for fun and silly videos. For like chill commentaries, obviously you would probably use lo-fi. I've heard a lot of people use lo-fi for like commentary videos. In Intel stream highlights, the stream already has background music, so I don't add background music anymore. This tip that I'm about to give helps video quality kind of indirectly, but it's about your workflow. Basically, back then, how I would edit my videos is as I was creating the video, you know, having like the entire footage laid out, as I'm cutting up the video, I would also add everything else, like the subtitling, the zooms, and whatever effects that I wanted to add in the moment. What I learned is it's really better to cut your video first. Like, for example, let's just remove all of this for now. So literally the only thing that you focus on is the cutting of the video. So for example, it's done, and that's when you start adding everything. How I do things is I cut up the video, and whenever I need to make a transition, I would do the transition using S_blurmo curves, which I have a tutorial on that as well. I'll put it in the iCard. You can see like these little audio clips. These are like the whoosh sound, so that, you know, it indicates a transition like that. I do this while cutting the video, but then I leave the rest after. The reason why it's important to do this is because if you put out all of your energy to do effects as you're editing a video, it feels way less organized, and you're just doing things in the moment, and you're not even sure what you're going to be expecting in terms of what's going to be included in the video after the area that you're focusing on in putting all of the effects, the subtitles, the extras, and all of that. And it could be a pretty draining process since you're already putting so much detail into your video and you haven't even finished cutting up the video. The chances of you feeling tired and not even being able to cut up the entire video is pretty high. Having a organized workflow could really help with how your video will turn out. It also makes sure that the quality doesn't go from wow, amazing edits to there's literally nothing there anymore because you got tired of editing. Hi, I'm editing the video right now, and I just realized I forgot to say something. As you can see, don't mind the Vegasception right now. I just wanted to say something that really helps in editing in Vegas is setting your preview quality over here lower. If the preview window is lagging, I really suggest just setting it lower. Set it to draft auto if you have to. But if draft auto makes it way too hard to see what on earth is happening, which isn't really the case most of the time when you're looking at Minecraft footage, but if you're maybe editing something else, preview quarter is like probably one of the best previews. And if you can't seem to use preview quarter, you could try doing this, going to options and then preferences, and then go to video and up the dynamic RAM preview. Make sure you don't put it that high. You look at your available RAM and then like set it. Maybe even just like putting 1000 if you could would probably improve the preview. And I kind of forgot if it's better to have this off or on, but I mean, if you have another option, maybe you can click it. I'm not really sure, you shouldn't listen to me for that, but for giving more RAM to the preview so that like goes more smoothly, I think this affects it. So yeah, you could play around with that. Back to the video. So the next part is discussing some Vegas Pro features that could really make your editing way faster. First, I'm going to start with subtitles. If you don't know how I make subtitles, I made a tutorial on it. I'll put it in the iCard. But I really forgot to say like one of the most important things there, the duration. So if you're watching this now, I'm sorry for not saying this in the video. I've seen so many comments asking me why their subtitles repeat after like a certain period of time. Let me show you what I mean. So just applying what I taught in the subtitle tutorial video, I'm just gonna like change the text to whatever I want. Don't don't mind the randomness of this. Example, you want to add more, but then you realize, wait, it looped. I wonder why that is. A lot of people have been asking me why this is, and I always have to tell them in the comment section that you have to up this duration. So what I do for basically all of the videos I edit, when I place down the subtitle, I check how long the video is in total. So this video is like 11:39, but over here, the duration of the thing is only 1 minute. That's because I separated, for some reason, I don't know why. I think my workflow for this video is somewhat whack, which kind of defeats the purpose of my teaching. But let's ignore that for a second. I think here is where it begins. Yeah, here. The duration of this text is 12 minutes 20 seconds, which managed to last until the very, very end. So yeah, that's how subtitles work. Another thing is, example, let me find a part where the subtitles shake. Yeah, the subtitles shake here. The subtitles shake because of s_shake, which is a Sapphire plugin, and I have it animated. But if you check your video effects, if you have Sapphire, ignoring this, you might only have just the default. And wait, let me just quickly remove this first. If you drag this on here, don't mind the colors inverting. I need to fix that using s_glow. It's just an issue with Vegas 17. I don't know why. So you can see that these are like the default settings. What I usually do is turn on motion blur length and then make it like 1.2 or 1.4. Honestly, I'm not really sure. It's like you could just see how much it blurs and how much you want it to blur, but I think 1.2 is mostly good. And you have to set the frequency high and then the amplitude pretty low, like this, to get that effect. Wait, let's see.
Way!
Yeah, something like that, which I also animate because towards the end, the shake in his voice just like softens, like over here.
Hey!
Like it becomes more normal. So I would animate it so that the amplitude just like fades out eventually. It's very oversimplified from the way I do it, but
Way!
yeah, it's something like that. If you want to do something similar to another text, you would have to click the motion blur, put the motion blur length, change the frequency, change the amplitude. It just takes a lot of time. A thing that is very efficient is using presets. Presets don't save keyframes, but they save the current settings that your cursor is currently on. So example, if I save this as text intense shake, press the save button, If you search up s_shake, you can see that it's there, and it's very easy. Like example, I just remove the shake, put it back, and we have our settings, and all I could do is just animate it again, put the last keyframe at 0 amplitude, and boom, it's just the same thing.
Way!
And you could reuse this text intent shake for a lot of different other texts. Ah, yeah, I forgot to mention. Another way you can save presets is, example, you have multiple things, like a combination of video effects that you want to save like as a group. Then what you can do is press this plugin chain and then hit save as, and then you can name it whatever you want. I don't know, let's just do this for now. And then it will just appear over here. They appear in the folder called filter packages, and you can see a lot of things that I saved here. So next time you want to add the combination of those video effects, you could just click this event effects icon and just apply it, add, okay, and it got applied. The good thing about using this actually is you can also save keyframes using this. So example, you go a few frames forward and do that, and you can actually save it. Let's say it's called animated, and if you apply it to another clip, it will apply the keyframes. Ta-da! The keyframes carried over to this clip. Another thing that makes editing on Vegas way more efficient is the use of the auto ripple over here. This auto ripple has 3 modes: affected tracks, bus tracks, markers and regions, and all tracks, markers and regions. So what does ripple do first of all? Well, let's say we don't want this first part anymore. You can go to the rectangle select tool, which is a double press of D on your keyboard. It looks like this, and you can just do that. Select it and delete. Wait a second. Why did it not go to 0? I'm so confused. Anyways, if something like this happens, you can just drag something like that and everything snaps. It's very easy to cut things up. Like example, let's go to the Glimpse and Nico thing. Example, you turn on ripple and then you go here, and then
What's your strategy for this one, Nico? Because honestly, it doesn't seem like it's working.
cut to Nico's response.
What's your strategy for this?
Kill you and absolutely demolish you.
And then cut here, delete, and it just all goes together very quickly. Without ripple, cutting this would look something like this. Cut here, and cut here, and you would delete this, and you would drag it back like that. And then you would cut here, and then you delete, and then drag. You just have to do a lot of dragging when you don't have ripple on. But you should also be careful of when to use ripple and when to not use ripple. Like, example, after cutting your footage, I really recommend turning ripple off, because sometimes when you're subtitling, placing a subtitle could just really mess everything up if you have ripple on. And let me explain the different modes. So affected tracks, if you use affected tracks and then delete this, it would only ripple the track that was affected by the deleted clip. Like example, if you delete this subtitle, it only shifts this layer. And then affected tracks, bus tracks, markers, and regions. Basically, this is like the same, except it affects markers. So example, here's markers over here. If we had affected tracks only on, these wouldn't move, but if we have this on, these would move. See, they moved. All tracks just affect everything. So if you just want to completely remove this, then everything just shifts backwards, which just messes a lot of things up. So you should definitely be very careful of that. Instead, you would probably want to use rectangle select, delete that, and delete, and it properly cuts these 2 clips together. As you're watching a clip, you can actually press L and it just speeds it up. You see? It just speeds it up. You can like press L again and it speeds it up more. And to stop this kind of preview, you just press K and it stops it. I mean, sometimes it wouldn't really be that useful because you can't really hear the person talking that well. But if you're just trying to find something like visually engaging, you could use this to skim through. Or what I usually do, the clues that I have for finding interesting parts is sometimes I look at these audio waves. Like if it's high, then that means that maybe something hype happened and I would go to them. Like this part, you might recognize it from the video that was posted. I immediately found it because I could see the audio waves were higher.
Why are you going there? You're so weird.
Because like
Yeah, there. That's an exact part that was in the video. Alright, I think that's all I wanted to cover in this video. It's very simple. A lot of these are maybe common sense to more experienced editors, but hopefully some of you guys found it useful still, just going through the thought process of everything. Next time, if you guys want a tutorial on like a full guide, I guess, on how I edit, like example an ItzGlimpse video, just let me know. I've seen a few people request it. I'm just not sure when I could get to that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Leave a like for more, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that comes out. Bye!